Welcome, namaste. Welcome to our flow and restore yoga practice. Besides continuing to practice heart opening, physically opening up the fronts of the shoulders and the chest, as well as bringing the hips into extension, stretching the fronts of the hips, we're also going to add some calf stretches more into that area. So for the physical practice, of course, we'll do our usual ending in 10 minutes of sitting in meditation. So you'll want to have a bolster, a blanket, 2 blocks, and a strap. Let's begin in some form of hero's pose where you set the knees in front of you and either sit on your calves or on a prop between your ankles. Make sure to safely align your knees here where you're not turning out or in your feet, but rather pointing your toes back.
This is massive.
Oh, I think I forgot to mute everybody. Let me do that. There we go. So take a moment to get situated so that you can mentally arrive in your physical practice too. I want to share more from the book that I'm almost done reading. I love this book, highly recommend it. For those of you that are looking to deepen your meditation practice with some Tibetan Buddhist techniques that are very simple, yet not necessarily easy. The book is called The Relaxed Mind, written by teacher Dzakilung Rinpoche, a 7-step method for deepening meditation practice. So it talks about, yesterday I read from it and I talked about samsaras, right? Deeply ingrained habits and conditioning in our perception. So this kind of elaborates with that. It says, it is we ourselves who place limits on our experience. Due to our habits, we are often partial, fixating on duality such as subject and object, good and bad, I versus you or them, my world versus the outside world, right and wrong, and so on. This partiality leads us to label things endlessly, but if we look closely, we discover that much of it is unnecessary and not at all useful. These fixations that impede an open and pure view can be both subtle and coarse. Even when things are pleasant and our meditation is going well, we may be holding subtle fears that limit our view. If we look at them closely, we may see that such fears are unreal. They have no genuine basis. These fears come from experiences we've had in life, warnings we've received from parents, teachers, and mentors, and they have become habits. These are those samskaras. We worry about things like, is this person being sincere? Or is there some ulterior motive behind the words and actions? On a more subtle level, we may, for example, have acquired, when we were children, a fear of those with power over us. As adults, we may harbor a fear of authority figures without even noticing it. These kinds of ideas, which may not always be so useful, can enter into our spiritual path and practice. In allowing that to happen, we are not really using our wisdom and intelligence. The intelligent thing to do here would be to ask ourselves, why am I spending time holding on to fear and impure perception? It would be better to see things in their natural colors rather than dyeing them with tones that come from fear, from our mental projections onto things. The so-called insincere person or authority figure is just another being like you, someone seeking happiness, and who knows, someone who may become a close friend. In order to see that, we need to probe our minds to see why we are holding these fears and anxieties. Then we train to reduce them. If we can relax and open up in the face of such a rising phenomena, everything changes. Those false colors start to fade, and we see phenomena purely. It is not easy to clear them out completely, but eventually we'll reach a more refined level. And finally, a total transformation takes place. A little more. What we need most is trust. Trust in the mind's ability to cultivate this really deep connection. The purity we are seeking is not the nature of pure versus impure. If those opposites arise in our minds, we relax with them both, rather than hoping for and trying to grab the pure and fearing and trying to push away the impure. We relax and let that duality, that labeling, calm down. Then we discover a new experience, one of natural purity arising from the release of dualistic opposites. Just take a moment to digest and notice if any of that resonates with you. This idea of getting into the habit of labeling things, right, wrong, good, bad. Even when we're talking about pain in the body, I often hear, this is my bad shoulder, this is my bad knee. How can we allow ourselves more clarity and direct perception by letting go of the unnecessary dualistic labeling? That's going to be part of our meditation practice in the end. But I invite you to witness that as it might arise while you're in your physical yoga practice, as our mental and physical habits inevitably do. Let's begin to check in with what we bring into our practice today, starting with your physical state. Noticing your body and what's calling your attention the most through any kind of sensations. And from there, begin to scan the rest of your body, simply observing without judging. Noticing your breath as well, just letting it be as it is. What is the quality of your energy as you begin your practice? And notice your state of mind as well as your emotional state. As we release labeling these observations as good or bad, we open up to the vastness, or rather towards the vastness of who we really are. Let the breath in a little deeper. And then slowly let it go through the mouth. Once again, even fuller breath. Feel its movement in your body as you let it go. Breathing into your chest, into your back ribs, your belly. Sense the emptiness at the very bottom of the exhalation. What is something right now that you can offer gratitude for? I invite you to clarify your intention for this practice. What are you opening yourself up to see more clearly, to experience? And then invite you to choose someone or something to offer up your practice to, making a dedication of your efforts. And together, let's join our voices, chanting Om 3 times. Let's cultivate balance in our energy by practicing Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breath. So closing your lips, softly constrict the back of your throat, creating a gentle, smooth, whispering sound as you inhale and exhale slowly and evenly through your nose. Take your time to establish a mindfully slow breath pace. The pace at which we'll move our body in vinyasa flow. And when you're ready, please arrive in tabletop pose. And let's start with small movements of cat-cow. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists and stepping your knees a couple inches behind the hips. Breathe in and glide your chest forward. Roll your shoulders back and down into cow pose. Breathe out and contract your abdomen, slowly rounding your back. Drop your head into cat pose. Again, inhale, draw your heart forward. Roll the shoulders down. Exhale, contract your abdomen and dome your back. And try maybe 3 more cycles of Betalasana. At the end of your next exhalation, tuck your toes and lift your hips, entering downward facing dog. Lifting your sitting bones high. Shift your weight far towards the rear of your mat and then relax your neck. Start to bend your right knee. Swivel your hips to your right side and drop your left heel into the floor. Look under your left armpit towards the sky. Start to bend your left knee. Swivel your hips to your left side. Drop the right heel into the ground and look under your right armpit towards the sky. Let's try a couple more rounds to the breath. Inhale, bend the right knee, swivel hips to the right, press the left heel down, look under the left armpit. Exhale, bend left knee, swivel hips to the left, press the right heel down, look under the right armpit. Again, inhale to the right. Exhale to the left. Come back to center. And inhale, come forward into plank pose, top of a push-up. Let's pause here a few breaths. Press the ground away with the hands. Stack the shoulders over the wrists. Lift the sides of the belly, lengthen the neck, draw the shoulder blades back. And you can always set the knees down if you need more support. If your legs are straight, actively press the inner heels back. Exhale, lower your knees, then your chest. Hug the elbows to your ribs, then lower your chin, Ashtangasana. Inhale, slither forward. And lower your forehead to the ground. Bend your elbows apart so you have a cactus shape out of your arms. Firm the tops of your feet into the ground, actively stretching your legs long behind you. And as you breathe in, lift the arms off the floor so the elbows are at the height of the shoulders. Peel your shoulder heads back and draw your chest forward. Look down ahead. Exhale, release down. Keep your feet on the ground the entire time. 2 more rounds. Inhale, roll the shoulder heads back, lifting the chest. Elbows are like cactus arms. Exhale, release down. So we're warming up the back muscles here. Keep the feet on the ground. Inhale, draw the shoulder heads back. Broaden your collarbones, look forward. Exhale, release down. Now slide the heels of your palms alongside your floating ribs and hug your elbows to your ribs. Press down through the tops of your feet and choose either cobra or upward facing dog for 1 deep breath. Legs strong, broad in the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg behind you from the inseam of the leg, keeping the hips facing the floor. Exhale, bend the right knee high towards your nose, rounding forward in plank pose. Step your right foot gently beside your right thumb and lower your left knee. Come up high on your fingertips. hands on blocks or the floor. Let's prepare to flow. Tuck the back toes, breathe in, and look up. Keep your feet where they are and exhale into pyramid pose. Lift the back knee, draw the right outer hip back towards straightening your legs, and bow as if you have a flat back. Let's go in and out, another 4 cycles of breath. Inhale, lower left knee, gaze up. Exhale, lift left knee, straighten and bow. Inhale, lower, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose, long spine. Last round, inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. Inhale, kneeling lunge, look forward. Exhale, step the left foot forward, hips distance from the right. Forward fold. Press your hands on blocks or the floor. Inhale, lengthen forward to half forward fold. Draw your shoulders back. Exhale, forward fold, drop the head. Press through your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and rise all the way up into a gentle standing back bend. Exhale, marry your palms from your crown to your heart center. Connect to the rhythm of your breath and your intention. Offering gratitude to the sun, great source of energy on our planet. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Gaze up. Exhale, bow forward. Press blocks, shins, or the floor. Inhale, lengthen forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back to your version of plank. And exhale, knees, chest, chin, or glide forward through Chaturanga, grazing the elbows to your ribs. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause for a full cycle of breath. Spread the fingers flat, lift the hips back, and draw the heels down. Inhale, raise the left leg back from the inseam, keeping your hips facing the ground. Exhale, bend the knee high towards your nose in plank pose. Step the foot gently beside your left thumb and lower your right knee. Come up high on your fingertips, maybe hands on blocks. Inhale, gaze up, kneeling lunge. Keep your feet where they are. And exhale, lift the right knee. Draw the left outer hip back towards straightening the legs as you bow. Pyramid pose. Inhale again, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. 3 more cycles. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Come back to a kneeling lunge. Breathe in, look forward. Exhale, step the right foot to touch the left foot and fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, fold in. Bend your knees. Inhale, chair pose, lean back. Exhale, rise up to stand. Let's move through Sun Salutation B, Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen half forward fold. Either step to plank or float to Chaturanga. Insert your version of your vinyasa here. Tuning into your breath. At downward facing dog, keep your hips facing the ground. Inhale, raise the right leg behind you. Exhale the foot quietly beside the right thumb. Spin the left heel down. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Ride your exhalation all the way down into your chosen vinyasa or cat-cow. Downward facing dog. Last side. Inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale the foot beside left thumb. Spin right heel down. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, Vinyasa, last one. Downward facing dog. Let the body be still as you steady your gaze for 3 slow breaths. Balancing inflow and outflow. When you've emptied the third exhalation, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat, forward fold. Bring the feet together to touch. Inhale, half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend your knees together. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair. We're gonna add a little heat here. Join your hands in prayer. Stay in chair and begin to twist to the right as you exhale. Parita Utkatasana. Tack your left outer hip back. Sinking your hips lower than your heart. Glide both shoulder blades down your back. Broadening your collarbones. One more deep breath. Inhale back to chair pose. Option to stand in mountain for a break and then come back to chair. Otherwise, stay in chair. And when you're ready, exhale, twist to the left. Tack the right outer hip back and spiral the rib cage. Parita Utkatasana, twisting chair pose. Sensing habits of mind that may arise throughout your practice. One more breath. Back to chair. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Please step back to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Pick up your right foot and press the top of your right foot onto the lowest part of your left calf, closer to the ankle. Use the top of the right foot to pull the left heel downward towards the ground while you glide forward towards plank pose. Firming in the belly, rotate the triceps towards the rear wall. Stretching into your left calf, breathe in, relax the jaw. Smooth breath out. A few more breaths. Come back to downward facing dog. Pick up your left foot, place the top of the foot onto the back of your right ankle, just at the lowest portion of the calf. Use the top of the left foot to pull the right heel down towards the floor while you glide forward towards plank pose. Lift the sides of your belly, lengthen your neck, shoulder blades down the back. Rotate your triceps towards the back wall and gaze slightly ahead of your thumbs. Few more breaths. Bring your knees to the ground and lean back onto your shins. Let's stretch the tops of the feet and the shins. So bring your hands either alongside your pelvis or slightly behind, and you can rock back, stretching both at the same time, or stay seated and then lift one knee for maybe 5 breaths with one hand, and then switch to the opposite knee. So take your choice. If you're doing both at the same time, let's stay for 10 deep breaths. When you're ready, release both shins onto the ground. Let's stretch the outer wrists. So making fists out of your hands, give yourself a fist bump like this. Keep this position and place the backs of your fists about 1 foot ahead of your knees onto the ground. Gently shift your weight forward to pay attention to how it feels in your outer wrists and forearms and decide how much weight to shift forward. Relaxing your neck, shoulders down the back, relaxing your jaw. A few more deep breaths. Let's take one deep cleansing lion's breath. So fill up everything. Inhale, belly, rib cage, all the body. Stick out the tongue, open your mouth. Any sound, let it go. Close the lips again, breathe in. Just as slow, breathe out. Lean back onto your shins and roll out your shoulders. Breathe in, float them forward and up. Breathe out, back and down. Again, inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Last time. Come on down to your forearms in Sphinx pose. In Sphinx, slide your knees as close together as you comfortably can and have your elbows on the ground directly under your shoulders while lifting your chest and broadening it. Cross your left forearm on the ground in front of your chest. Bend your right knee. Backstroke your right arm and see if you can reach the big toe side of your right ankle or foot. So the inner, not the outer. Have your knees no wider apart than your hips distance to support your lower back and ground both of your frontal hip bones. Turn your chest completely to face forward, relaxing both shoulders. Gently bring your right heel slightly to the outside of your right hip. Where are you feeling this posture the most? Can you direct loving awareness into that space? One more full breath here. Release your right leg. Come back to Sphinx pose. Slide your knees close together again. Cross the right forearm in front of your chest and bend your left knee. Backstroke your left arm. Try to reach the inner side, not the outer side of your foot or ankle. Have your knees no wider apart than your hips distance and ground both of your frontal hip bones. Turn your chest completely to face forward, rolling both shoulders back. Bring your left heel gently towards the outer side of your left hip. Full inhalation. Take your time to match that with the exhalation. Where are you feeling this posture the most? Being with that feeling just as it is. No need to label it. Just allowing it to be as you experience it as it is with breath. One more deep breath. And exhale, let it go. Let's get into the fronts of the shoulders just a little more. Set your right ear to the ground and slide your right arm wide to the right, palm face down on the floor. With the left hand on the ground beside your left shoulder, press the floor away and begin to slowly roll over towards your right outer hip. Take the time to draw your right shoulder blade down your back ribs, creating more space along the right side of your neck. How's your breathing here? If you find that the front of your right shoulder feels pretty open and you can go further into the posture, you can step the left foot behind you, the right foot on the floor, both knees bent, and or wrap the left arm behind you. Feel the space between the very top of the in-breath and the very bottom of the out-breath. One more full breath here. Then gently and slowly roll onto your belly. Lean your left ear to the ground and slide your left arm open to the left. With a palm face down, press the right hand on the floor and start to roll over towards your left outer hip. Pause here. Slide the left shoulder blade further down your back ribs, lengthening the left side of your neck. What do you sense in the side of your shoulders? Notice if there's any difference that you might accommodate for. Maybe step the right foot behind you, maybe not. And or step the left foot on the floor. Wrap right arm behind. Not forcing anything or trying to align with your expectations. Letting go of any shoulds in your practice. Just being with what is. Filling up to the capacity of your lungs and your belly. You feel the belly soften as you breathe out. One more slow breath here. Then start to gently unwind again onto your belly. And back to Sphinx pose one last time. Tops of the feet rooting into the earth, broaden your collarbones, and draw your sternum forward and slightly up while you look slightly down. Lengthen your tailbone towards your inner knees as your inner heels draw back towards your rear wall. Feel every toenail pressing into the ground. With each breath in, broadening your chest, opening your heart space. With each breath out, releasing the shoulder bones back and down like ice cubes melting under the sun. Relax behind your ears, softening your tongue, unclenching your jaw. One more full breath. Slide your palms back beside your floating ribs and tuck your toes. Press back into downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your right leg behind you. As you exhale, bend your right knee and turn the thigh open at the hip. Inhaling, draw the left outer hip further back. Then exhale, slide your right shin across your mat in front of your pelvis, lower to sit into single pigeon pose. Tuck your left toes behind you, place your hands along your hips, and lift your pelvis off the floor. Tack your right outer hip back and rotate your left outer hip forward, squaring your hips to face the front of your mat. Notice if you need to fill the gap between right glute and the floor with your folded blanket. Untuck the back toes, place the hands in front of you. Inhale, stretch your torso at the front, and then start to lower down slowly. Maybe placing pillows to catch your torso as high as you might need them, or a block to catch your forehead. Or adding a twist to open your upper back, the thread the needle. If you're going into thread the needle, flare your right elbow towards the sky and place your right hand towards the upper right corner of your mat like this. Then slide your left arm underneath your right elbow with your left palm face up. Lower the left side of your head all the way down on the ground or on a prop. Relaxing your head, relaxing your neck, and your entire torso. Let your body just melt into the surfaces below it. From here, you're going to watch the clock for 2 more full minutes. Continue to feel your breath as you're regulating it. One more deep breath here. And as you're ready, slowly and gradually begin to lift your torso up. And please step back into downward facing dog. You might take a moment in downward dog to raise your right leg and shake it out or circle it at the hip. When you have both feet down again, inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, bend your left knee and rotate the thigh externally at the hip. Inhale, tack your right outer hip back. Exhale, cross your left shin in front of your pelvis and lower to sit, single pigeon pose. Tuck your right toes for a moment as you straighten the right leg behind you and place your hands to frame your hips. Lift your pelvis and draw your left outer hip back. Rotate your right outer hip forward. And then when your hips are both squared, notice if it would help to place a prop under your left glute to maintain that. Place the hands in front of your left shin and lift your chest as you breathe in. And slowly begin to lower your torso. Now see if it's available on this second side to come into the same variation of the posture you did on your first side. You might need to rearrange the configuration of your props here. You might come into thread the needle, the twist, by placing the left hand towards the left upper corner of your mat. As you flare the left elbow to the sky, thread the right arm under your left elbow with the right palm face up. Then rest the right side of your head all the way down, either on the ground or prop, whatever is most comfortable. Relax your right toes. Center in on your breath and anything that arises. Sensations, thoughts, feelings. 2 minutes here. Let's give it another deep breath here. Then one last time, slowly make your way back into downward facing dog. You might raise your left leg in the air and give it some movement at your hip. Let's come on down to hero's pose again, where we started, sitting on your calves or on a prop between your ankles, pointing your toes back. See that your knees are no wider apart than your hips distance. And now if you feel warmer in your legs, you might be able to sit on the ground between your ankles. May or may not be available, just see what feels okay in your body. Keep your knees on the ground and seal in the bottom of your front ribs while you begin to lean back to whatever degree is available. Some of us might feel plenty of stretch in the fronts of the thighs and hips, just keeping the torso upright, and you can stay there. Otherwise, you can either use any of your props, such as a long pillow or stacked blocks, to catch you from behind like this. Some of you might lie flat on your back comfortably. Just make sure you're listening to your body. Don't want to feel any impingement in your lower back. So slightly lift your frontal hip bones towards your lowest front ribs as you seal those bottom front ribs into your back. And lengthen your tailbone forward towards between the knees. Now, if your arms are free and you've leaned back to whatever props might be supporting you or the ground, then you could choose to hold opposite elbows overhead like this and drop the arms back, relaxing the shoulders down your back. For the first of 2 minutes, you might start with one arm on top, and then I'll let you know when that first minute is up so you can switch arms. If you're going to switch arms, we're halfway through. And take your time beginning to lift your torso up slowly, coming back to sitting upright. Slide your legs out in front of you. You may want to grab a strap as we come into Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. Let's start with straightening the left leg forward. If you're using a strap, place it around the ball of your left foot. Bring the sole of your right foot high against your inner left thigh. Root your sitting bones on the ground or a pillow or blanket. Hold the strap with both hands and kick into the strap with your left foot flexed. Roll your shoulders back and down and breathe in to lift your chest and the back of your skull. Keep your throat open and exhale, hinge forward from your hips, directing your sternum towards your left pinky toe. Take your time, breath by breath, root down the pelvis, lengthen the spine. Exhale, only hinging forward if you can keep your throat open, shoulders relaxed. Slight lift in the chest. Press down to your pelvis, and as you breathe in, lead with your chest to slowly rise up. Point out your left toes or circle the foot at the ankle. Just relax from that flexing. Let's straighten the right leg forward. Bend the left knee open and bring the sole of your left foot high against your inner right thigh. If you're using a strap, and I forgot to mention, with a strap, you can also add a little more stretch into the calf as well. Because if you actively pull the strap back, you can further flex the foot, creating that lengthening of the right calf. You can also do that with your hands, but the strap gives you a little more torque. So root your sitting bones down, breathe in, lift your chest and the back of your skull, relax your shoulders. Breathe out, aim your sternum towards your right pinky toe and hinge from your hips. Taking it breath by breath to explore your range of motion in this forward fold, where you can keep a slight lift of your chest and deep, calm breaths. Press your pelvis downward and breathe in, lift your chest, slowly rise up. Stretch both legs forward, and let's add in one last forward fold. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Once again, you can use your strap around the balls of your feet, especially if you're aiming to stretch your calves a little more. You can place that strap a little higher up on the balls of the feet, or really on the meatiest part of the balls of the feet, and create even more flexion in the feet. Ground your sitting bones, breathe in, lift your heart up. Seal in the front ribs as you exhale, hinge from the hips, breath by breath. Some of you might reach hold of your big toes with your index and middle fingers. If so, you might flare the elbows apart and keep sliding the shoulder blades down your back, keeping a little lift in the chest, like your heart is literally leading you forward. More deep, hips down, breathing and slowly lead with your heart to rise. And please find a comfortable way to sit for one more pranayama practice before we rest in Shavasana to prepare for a guided 10 minutes of meditation. Sitting in a way that you can breathe comfortably and fully, grounding your body, relaxing all of it. I invite you into 3-part breathing like we practiced yesterday, Durga Pranayama. As we visualize dividing the torso, which is from your pelvic floor to the top of your neck, into 3 cross sections. First section from bottom of the pelvis to the belly button. Second section encompassing most of the rib cage. Third section encompassing the chest, upper back, and all throughout the neck. You might place one hand at the top section, the chest, and one hand at the lower section under the belly button, just to help feel the breath move up. So we're going to inhale 1/3 into the lowest section, pause. Inhale another third into the midsection, pause. And then inhale the last third to the top of the section and hold the breath. And we'll exhale everything really slowly through the nose and hold the breath. That's one cycle. Let's practice 3 cycles of Durga Pranayama together and then continue 2 cycles on your own. So prepare to begin, maybe eyes closed, relax the body, sit tall, taking a deep breath in. Let it out through the mouth. Now close the lips, just breathe through the nose. Inhale 1/3 of the breath into the lowest section. Pause, inhale another third, midsection. Pause, inhale last third to the top. Hold your breath. Exhale through the nose very slowly. Hold your breath. Second round, inhale, lowest section. Pause, inhale, middle. Pause. Inhale, top. Hold the breath. Exhale very slowly. Hold the breath. Last one together. Inhale, lowest section. Pause. Inhale, middle. Pause. Inhale, top. Hold it in. Exhale slowly. Hold it out. Now on your own, practicing 2 more cycles. When you finish, let go of controlling your breath and sit for a few moments, noticing how you feel. As you're ready, please gradually lower your body entirely onto the ground, finding a comfortable resting position to lie down in Shavasana for a few minutes. As you continue to breathe naturally, close the eyes. You might turn your palms to face up, down by your sides, and drop in. Feeling your body here now. And just allow it to stay still. Allow your eyes to remain closed. I invite you to just mentally ask your body how it wants to begin waking up and moving. And take your time waking up your body into a simple stretch, easy movement. You might gradually roll over onto your right side and rest your head for a moment, bringing awareness to the natural flow of the breath and sensing your energy as it's affected by your practice. And then eventually rising up again into a comfortable seated position for a guided 10 minutes of meditation. Sitting comfortably tall, where your whole body can welcome stillness. Invite symmetry in your body in the most way you can. Allow the shoulders to soften slightly behind you and down, feeling the space throughout your spine from tailbone up each vertebra, slowly scanning through the middle of your spine, through the rib cage, and all the way up to your neck. Feeling your skull resting lightly above the spine. Allow your eyes to close or steady a gentle gaze, downcast, relaxing the muscles all around the eyes, even behind the eyes. Allowing the tongue to soften, feeling behind your ears, allowing the jaw to unclench like a fist releasing open. Sense the natural flow of the breath in and the flow of the breath out. Nothing you need to do here but notice. Relax into loving awareness of this present moment. Allow the exhalation to invite the bones in your whole body to just submit to gravity, a feeling of relief as you surrender the body from any need to do. Allow the breath to be received in a soft belly. Feeling the volume and space within your pelvis. Sensing the distance between your hip bones. As your awareness fills your body at rest, sense what enters the mind in any given moment. allowing whatever enters your mind to simply come and go. As you rest in the feeling of peace within your body vessel, when you've noticed that your attention has left the present moment, realize that that is your awakening, your opportunity to come back, rest in the feeling of your physical body at rest. Continue to observe what arises and fades, whether thoughts, feelings, or sensations. As you let go of any need to label them as either good or bad, free yourself to relax as loving awareness. Again, if you notice your mind drifts away, let go of having to judge yourself for doing so. And simply come back. Rest in what's here now. Relax even deeper. And sense what feels alive in your heart. Notice how your mind feels. And I invite you to acknowledge anything that you would like to appreciate right now. Remember what your intention is for this practice. You might even say it to yourself again. Remember to whom or what you dedicated this practice. And together, let's close chanting Om 3 times. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.